Weakers, tweakers, thrill freaking seekers, welcome back to another freaking hilarious freaking episode of WAYO LP Rochester's Our Week in Freaking Review. You can also find us on freaking SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Geez Louise, Down on My Knees, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and freaking Spotify. Basically everywhere you get your freaking podcasts, and also freaking YouTube, which is usually great for freaking hot freaking porno, although I haven't been able to find any on there. But Geez Louise, Down on My Knees, we got a great freaking show with you right now in the studio. Doug Jordan is to my freaking left. I am your freaking host, Taylor the freaking Sandman freaking Lofton. And that's it for now. Geez Louise, Sandy the Sandman Farkas is MIA, but he might show up shortly. We're hoping for the best. Weakers, tweakers, thrill freaking seekers. It has been 1 week since we last talked, and Geez Louise, Down on My Knees, we all miss you very, very freaking much. We are so freaking hot and horny for you. Doug Jordan, tell the freaking weakers, tweakers, and freaking mayotards out there, also the thrill seekers, how freaking you are for them.
I mean, I wouldn't specifically say that I was horny for somebody that listened to the show, but I'm glad if you listen every week, I'm glad that you do that. So thank you.
Yeah, it's users and viewers and weakers and tweakers like you that make what we do so freaking rewarding, and we're so happy to freaking have you. And I don't want to freaking waste any more time just banging around the bush, jacking around the bush, yanking and pulling around the freaking bush, if you know what I freaking mean. So weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers. Tadia Risher is gone again. He last week called in, and Geez Louise, Down on My Knees. It seems like he's having a freaking tough time. Doug Jordan has always suspected that he does not have cancer, unfoundedly, because it's obvious the guy's got freaking cancer. You can see it all over his freaking face. It's spread from his freaking lungs to, yep, you guessed it, his freaking entire freaking body, and most notably his freaking face and his freaking beautiful baby blue eyes. Doug Jordan.
I mean, what do you want me to say? I definitely know for a fact that I don't think he has cancer. And also, I'm starting to think that he made up this whole getting stabbed thing. So, I don't think that's really real.
So you're saying basically freaking, how do you do and strike two for freaking Tadia Risher?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Tadia might have he might be what would be considered as a compulsive liar. I think that's what he is.
Well, Geez Louise, that is a freaking harsh freaking claim, and it is also neither here nor freaking there because we don't have him on the show this week to defend himself. So, weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, we're going to jump right freaking into it. Doug Jordan, how was your week? How are you doing, and how freaking horny are you?
I'm not technically not horny. Week was pretty good. I worked at the fish distribution plant where I work, and then this weekend, some of the people I work with were saying, hey, we're gonna go to the gay pride parade this weekend, and we wanted to invite you to come with us. So I went with them, and it was a great time.
Did you guys join a group or a float of some kind? Were you in the parade or just gazing upon it as it freaking were?
Yeah, we were just kind of, involved in the celebration, so, the people, we just let people, walk in the parade. We didn't do any walking in the parade. We just kind of watched, and, we went to a couple bars and had a couple drinks.
Yeah. The last time I went, Geez Louise, Down on My Knees, I went to try to pick up freaking women, and I did not have freaking success, although I rarely do in those sort of situations. How were the women looking at the gay pride parade this year? And Geez Louise, Down on My Knees, what were they freaking wearing? What was the hottest item you saw fashion-wise?
I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was just kind of there, in spirits and happy for everybody that was involved. There was a lot of, it was a gay pride weekend, so there was a lot of the rainbow colors as the flag is, the rainbow flag. So that's kind of it. I didn't really pay attention to what anybody was wearing or anything like that.
No, I wish I could have been there, but Geez Louise, Down on My Knees, I was dealing with some serious, very serious issues that I've been dealing with since, you freaking guessed it, the hearing that I had basically regarding my legal freaking status. Now, weakers and tweakers must remember that Geez Louise, Down on My Knees, I let a bunch of animals loose. Allegedly let a bunch of animals loose at a freaking animal hospital in retaliation for quarantining and taking away my freaking Hitler mustache cat named Donovan 2. And they charged me, and the hearing proceeded. They called a special hearing, the judge did, and geez Louise, down on my knees. Well, the results have been kind of freaking shocking, and it's been a real freaking tough week. And I thank you for being there.
Oh, I wasn't there.
Well, just being there for me, in general.
Well, I gave you all that advice last week, and, I had the list of 10 things you should do when you go to the courtroom, and you said you were going to pretty much do the opposite of that, so how did that pan out for you?
Yeah, didn't get there quite on time. Turns out I had no idea where the freaking thing was in the building. There are many different courthouses and different rooms for hearings and mediations, and I could not, for the life of me, I couldn't freaking find where I was going. I kept asking this one security guard named Dave, kept saying, Dave, now, just one more freaking time, let me know where I'm freaking going here, because I'm freaking lost as a freaking Dickens. I'm wandering around here, basically, without a freaking prayer, trying to find the room that I'm freaking going to, and I can't make sense of these freaking numbers. And he goes, well, they're all numbers with either A or B on them, and he said they're all freaking in order. And I go, what the heck are you freaking talking about? I said, finally, I was like, could you please just freaking walk me to the room that I'm supposed to be in? I'm freaking 15 minutes late. Turned out I was half an hour late. So, we didn't get off to a great freaking start, but geez Louise, down on my knees, I always prosper and push through. The judge didn't look too freaking pleased. Geez Louise, down on his knees, he wasn't pleased at all. And basically what ended up freaking happening, I was dressed in my freaking hilarious freaking officer's uniform, and it was basically the hearing was about whether or not I was fit to stand freaking trial. And the prosecution was arguing that, of course, obviously, as a freaking, as a freaking radio host, that I know what I'm freaking doing, which I totally, completely freaking agree with. And my freaking defense attorney, freaking Darius Jackson, kept saying, just don't say a freaking word, Taylor. Don't say a word until you are asked to speak. Do not yell or freaking shout. And I did pretty freaking good until they brought out the freaking surprise witness.
Oh, yeah. Who was the surprise witness?
They had freaking Donovan 2 there. My freaking Hitler mustache cat sitting right there. They didn't make him take the freaking stand, but they brought him in as evidence. I said, oh my freaking God. You freaking found him. And I demanded that they give him to me. They said that they freaking couldn't, and that he was witness to a freaking crime. I said he wasn't even freaking there when I did it, and they said, so you did freaking do it? And I said, geez Louise, down on my knees. What is this, some sort of freaking mind trick? No, I didn't freaking do it. I didn't freaking let a bunch of freaking animals out of a freaking middle of the freaking night, even though you got freaking footage. I said, how likely is it that the footage was freaking doctored? That somebody freaking edited it on a freaking software computer?
I mean, it sounds pretty unlikely to me that somebody doctored the footage specifically, to cut you into the veterinary hospital and have you let all the animals loose.
Well, that's freaking neither here nor there, but geez Louise, down on my knees, this freaking Darius...
Call from Satellite, New York.
Tweakers, thrill seekers, freaking Mayotards especially. That is freaking Sandy the Sandman freaking Farkas signing on. Sandy the Sandman Farkas, I was in the middle of my freaking story about my freaking hearing, about what's going on with my freaking hearing, and we're not talking about hearing as in what you can hear or can't hear. Why don't you say hello to Weakers and Tweakers out there, though? We're having ourselves a little bit of freaking technical issues. Geez Louise, down on my knees, if you guys could all just bear with me. Sandy the Sandman Farkas, go ahead and say something. Check your connection on your satellite uplink. It's even worse. Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, we were having some freaking technical difficulties there. I was filling Sandy in on basically what happened with the freaking hearing, and we're not talking about freaking the way that your ears hear. We're talking about freaking a courtroom freaking hearing with a freaking judge, a prosecutioner, and a freaking executioner, and also the freaking defense, my freaking, which is basically me and freaking Darius freaking Jackson, my freaking court-appointed attorney. And basically, the surprise witness, yep, you freaking guessed it, freaking Donovan 2. They brought him in, Hitler mustache, Donovan 2, freaking hilarious. Some of his hair is starting to freaking grow back. His rash is gone. They wouldn't freaking let me have him. And basically, the long and freaking short of it is that Darius Rucker's got me freaking off. One way or another, I knew he would. And the way that...
Wait, did you just say Darius Rucker?
I said...
Darius Rucker is the singer from, he's from Hootie and the Blowfish.
Darius freaking Jackson got me freaking off, and I knew one way or another he freaking would. So basically what the results of the freaking hearing were that I am not freaking legally fit to freaking stand trial. And I did get some freaking community service, and also I got a new freaking place to freaking live. Weakers and tweakers, yep, you freaking heard it first. I'm going to be moving into a brand new place, beautiful freaking house, totally furnished. Basically, and we basically have freaking maid service, dinner service, clothes, laundry service. It is top of the freaking line, and yep, that's what you get when your freaking lawyer gets you off as part of the freaking settlement. I'm going to be moving out. I got a new place to freaking live.
Well, where are you gonna live? Are you going to jail?
Nope, not going to freaking jail. Got off. Part of my freaking release is that I got to move into a brand new freaking home. It's a beautiful furnished home. I will have some freaking roommates, some people that will be living in the home, and there's going to be plenty of food to eat. They assured me. And geez Louise, down on my knees, we'll even do some freaking activities and stuff like that. So it's pretty freaking good. And I can still do the freaking radio show.
It sounds to me like it sounds like a freaking old folks home or something.
Well, they do call it a freaking home. They say that some people in there are very old, and some people in there are actually my age or even freaking younger. It's a whole group of people living in a freaking home together. So. And it is, yep, you freaking guessed it, is for people who are freaking like me, not fit to freaking stand trial. That's basically the long and the freaking short of it. I'm excited for that. I'm actually excited to do some of the freaking community service. They want me to go around and to the parks and clean up a little bit. I'm going to be doing a little lawn care, which I know all about. The last job that I had, I was doing some groundskeeping, so I know all about freaking lawn care. This is not going to be with a freaking lawnmower, of course. Because of the nature of my freaking alleged crime, they want me to go around with a freaking bag on my freaking hand and pick up fucking dog shit. So that's basically the long and freaking short of it, if you know what I freaking mean.
I mean, I'm still confused about this home. Is it like a? Are you getting checked into a psych ward?
Listen, I think I can help about this. Doug, from what I gather, this is a freaking home where a group of people freaking live. There's freaking activities to do. There's freaking food service. You get freaking breakfast, freaking lunch and dinner. And also, you got to pick up a little bit of dog.
Yeah, that's basically the freaking long and short of it. And geez Louise, Weakers, Tweakers, and especially freaking Darius Jackson, if you're out there listening, you did such a great freaking job, and I love you very, very freaking much. And I hope that someday soon we can freaking meet again in a similar freaking situation. Maybe this time I'll be defending freaking you. So, yep, I'm getting ready to freaking move out. That's why I've been freaking busy, and I couldn't go to the Great Gay Pride Parade, which freaking Mike Doug Jordan went to over the weekend and had a freaking blast and freaking got his freaking rocks off. So, Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers, yeah, I'm moving on up, just like the freaking song, and we're gonna play a little freaking clip for you of that song right freaking now, and then we're not gonna play it right actually. So, Sandy the Same Man freaking Farkas, where have you been? How you freaking doing, and how freaking horny are you?
Yeah, this is freaking our weekend review. I'm sorry, I'm freaking drunk. I got a little bit of a freaking update, and I might even need you guys freaking help with something, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course, and I'm sure Doug Jordan, in any way that he can freaking help, will help financially, vehicularly. Geez Louise, down on my knees, if he needs to freaking buy 2 tickets for us to go down and freaking meet it.
I'm just gonna freaking stop right there, because I can tell that what you're doing, it could last a freaking eternity. Here's the freaking situation. I had my re-entry to work meeting right after I for weeks and 2 years I got freaking suspended, basically for bringing my freaking drunk roommate in, put him on the freaking radio. Here's the freaking situation. They told me they're no longer interested in having me do the Monday through Friday freaking primetime freaking block. They're gonna give that freaking show to freaking Dick, my freaking co-host, and they're gonna give me freaking Saturday and Sunday freaking morning at freaking 8 a.m. to freaking 10 a.m. And I am freaking livid about this freaking thing. You're gonna put me in the freaking dead zone?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least it's the weekend mornings. You know, you got the people that work weekends.
You need to freaking shut the hell up right now. What's happening right now is that I had a little while to think about this, about what's really freaking going on. And ever since I got here to this freaking job in freaking Seattle, things have not been going my freaking way.
Yeah.
And it finally freaking dawned on me. This is freaking Dawson.
Oh, and I was just about to freaking say, Evan Dawson is freaking back. He has extended his freaking evil tentacles to the reaches that knows no bounds, all the way to freaking Seattle, freaking Washington, via freaking satellite, freaking New York, and he is clamping down basically on the throat of ours and yours truly, freaking Sandy the Sandman Farkmean.
Basically, the freaking situation that I freaking found myself in is that I freaking move all the way to the other end of the freaking country, and this guy's still coming after me, and I think there's no greater time than now, Taylor. Now that I know what you're freaking capable of freaking breaking into the freaking veterinary's office, and I think you might know where I'm freaking going with this. I think I'm gonna need you to freaking break into freaking WXXI and freaking get all the freaking documents, freaking get just all the freaking documents, all the freaking papers, get a freaking paper trail going, because I need some freaking proof that this guy's freaking coming after me.
Actually, you know what? I could do you one freaking better, because I did meet with some of the people at my freaking new freaking group home, and geez Louise, down on my knees, they're all freaking hilarious. And this one guy, freaking Arnold, he's a big freaking hilarious fat guy with freaking big hollow dead eyes, barely speaks a lick a word, look at freaking anything. He doesn't say anything. And geez Louise, down on my knees, they said don't let him near the freaking stove, don't let him touch a freaking book of matches. This guy's a freaking firebug. And if I freaking tell him, if I sent freaking Arnold, big fat ugly Arnold, over to freaking XXI, yep, you freaking guessed it, he'll make something freaking happen. And I got to be careful what I say here, because geez Louise, down on my knees, this got me in trouble a couple of weeks ago with the freaking court system. But this guy, he knows how to freaking handle documents. He knows how to handle freaking couches. He knows how to handle mattresses. This guy could if you give this guy a freaking can of gas and a freaking brand new freaking lawn, this guy will have that thing up in freaking flames in no freaking time.
All right. I'm gonna need freaking Arnold's freaking contact freaking information. We're gonna get him and freaking Doug Jordan. We're gonna get in there. We're gonna get those freaking documents.
Yeah. No, I don't want any part of this.
Doug, I freaking need you.
Yeah, Doug, this is the time that you've been freaking called upon.
Yeah, I mean, I'd help you if you needed a ride or, something, but I'm not going to help you.
I don't need a freaking ride right now, Doug. I need you to give me some freaking documents.
Yeah, this is a serious freaking situation, and Sandy the Sandman Farkas basically his life is in freaking shambles, because freaking Evan Dawson's freaking tentacles are reaching across the freaking United States all the way to the freaking West Coast, and basically strangling his neck and his freaking balls.
Well, I mean, I really don't think that Evan Dawson is the reason why they're moving your slot. I think it's because you brought your drunk roommate on the radio, so it's kind of your fault that they're moving your slot there.
Doug, what the heck are you freaking talking about?
Well, I mean, it's kind of you did something bad, so then you're getting punished for it. I don't think Evan Dawson really has anything to do with it.
What are you
the thing about it is that, what the heck? First of all, first things first. What the heck are you freaking talking about? Also, don't freaking answer that. Second thing is this is freaking Dick, my freaking co-host, who I always knew was a freaking piece of shit. He's in cahoots with freaking Dawson, and they freaking did this. They're freaking doing this freaking to me. They're freaking trying to ruin my freaking life because I'm doing so freaking well out here.
Yeah.
Do you think Dick and Evan Dawson actually know each other? I mean, Evan Dawson's pretty small-time radio.
It's freaking radio. Everybody knows everybody.
Everybody knows everybody. Doug, there's freaking Our Week in Review, freaking Howard Stern, freaking the show I do in freaking Seattle, and freaking Evan Dawson, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and there's also Bubba the freaking Love Sponge is freaking hilarious.
Yeah, but I mean, we know of those people, but do you personally know those people?
And also freaking Sound of Tomorrow.
And Sound of Freaking Tomorrow, which is they're actually one of the freaking, they're actually moving up in the shock jock world. Weakers and Tweakers, Thrill Seekers. If you listen to WAYO LP Rochester, yep, shock jocks, freaking Sharon and freaking Ross freaking Johnson or Filipowski, Jim Bajabowski, and freaking Ross Johnson, Sound of Freaking Tomorrow. Yep, you freaking guessed it. Shock jocks of the freaking world. Yeah, unite against freaking Dawson. Hands of freaking cross America. Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers. This is a serious situation, so we're gonna need all of your freaking help to locate Dawson and to find the freaking files that Sandy needs. And we're recruiting you. We're not allowed to freaking say that. We're not allowed to freaking do that. And I could get in a lot of freaking trouble for even talking about this. But geez Louise, down on my knees. We're moving forward with Plan freaking A.
Yeah. Now's the freaking time.
Get the freaking documents.
You need to get it from some freaking documents.
Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers, we got a great freaking show for you. Our week's News and Discussins is up next. Last week, global villain and tech entrepreneur Elon Musk shook news media sources when he announced in his intentions to use neuroimplant technology to merge the human brain with artificial intelligence, according to CNN. Musk plans to wire a computer chip into the brain using tiny wires that would surgically be installed by a robot and would wirelessly transmit to a small receiver placed behind the ear. Musk's company, Neurolink, was founded in 2016 on the concept of human-computer interfacing, one that could help the quadriplegics of the world control computer interfaces like smartphones with hand-free ease. But now the company has begun boasting new applications, leading to speculation that the Neurolink project could give users telepathic powers. The company has already begun testing on rats, and Musk has indicated that they have successfully installed the device in a monkey as well. Musk claims human trials of Neuralink will begin next year, though the U.S. FDA has yet to approve such a study. You freaking imagine a freaking monkey being able to freaking talk to a freaking computer? Just chatting away through his freaking brain to a freaking computer?
Well, I mean, first of all, they got to teach the computer how to understand the freaking monkey,
That's
so I don't
true.
think that would make sense.
You just open up his freaking computer and there's just a picture of a freaking banana peeling on there?
I mean, they have,
Like a freaking GIF or something?
That's probably all it would be. It would just be banana, banana, banana. So putting this in a monkey, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Hey, am I the only one that thinks this sounds a lot like freaking Biohacker?
I think, honestly, freaking Elon Musk must be a freaking listener of the freaking show, and he probably did get this freaking story from freaking Biohacker.
I think we've talked about freaking. I'm pretty sure we said on the radio freaking Biohacker for freaking the Neuralink project. It was freaking, and now they're freaking doing it, and I think we even said that Doug Jordan would play the freaking monkey.
Yeah. Doug Jordan would be a freaking great monkey, and geez Louise, down on my knees, the freaking funniest part of that whole freaking thing, you freaking guessed it, when he freaking peels the banana, instead of putting it in his mouth, he puts it in his rear freaking end.
Or when he's peeling a freaking banana, and guess what? He's already got his freaking dick in there. He's not. There's no freaking banana at all. It's just a freaking Doug Jordan's freaking monkey freaking penis.
So he peels the banana, and instead of a banana being inside, there's a freaking penis.
Well, because so what it was is somebody walks into the room. They think he's holding. It's a woman. A woman. He's on a date with a woman. And freaking monkey's on a date with a woman, and they're at a movie theater. And he's wrapped his freaking ass up in a freaking banana peel. And he's peeling a freaking banana. And what's in there is no freaking banana at all. It's you guessed it. Freaking penis.
Yeah, that's a great freaking trick. It used to be called. Back in the day, we used I've heard people did it with a freaking popcorn, but now it's a freaking banana. So.
Well, I mean, okay. Regardless of, I'm pretty sure we never had a monkey part in Biohacker, and I'm pretty sure I'd never played the freaking monkey. But I still don't think that if they put a freaking microchip in a freaking monkey's brain, I don't think it will freaking work.
Doug, what the heck are you freaking? We're not even freaking talking about that. What the heck are you freaking talking about? We're talking about freaking Biohacker 4 and the Neuralink project.
Yeah. It's a freaking movie, Doug. Well, and honestly, the point is freaking moot. Whether we said we would freaking do it or not, whether we would write about a monkey or not, because obviously now we're freaking doing it. That's the freaking situation.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're gonna write about this thing, I think it's gotta at least make sense. And I think Elliot Musk putting a freaking microchip in freaking monkey's.
No, you freaking Doug, you freaking got it wrong. You're putting your freaking in a banana. There's no freaking microchip. There's no freaking microchip involved, Doug. It's a freaking in a banana.
But there is a part where he gets into where the freaking monkey gets into a freaking vat of acid, and then he goes on a freaking microchip, and he goes freaking crazy. So actually, you were right about that, but you're jumping ahead a little bit, and that's actually a freaking twist. So
freaking spoiler alert. Sorry, freaking Doug ruined it.
Last week, a man in the Philippines made headlines when his huge face has given him the impression of a real-life caricature, according to the Daily Mail. Romulo Pilapil, a 56-year-old father of three, began showing symptoms 3 years ago after what doctors had thought to be a sinus infection did not improve. Pilapil's face began to swell. The mysterious disease has left the former carpenter unable to work as swelling has forcibly shut his eyelids. So this guy's got a freaking huge, hilarious-looking freaking caricature-sized face. And, geez Louise, down on my knees. You got to see a freaking picture of this guy. Actually, there's a video up on the website. I believe I got this from the Daily Mail. And this freaking guy is playing a freaking guitar, singing a song with this insanely huge freaking face. It's not, and I don't know how this freaking works because this guy's head is not huge. It's just his freaking face is freaking huge.
I'm looking at a picture of this freaking holy freaking cow. This guy's got this. That's the biggest freaking face. That's the hugest freaking face I've ever seen in my life.
For weakers and tweakers who don't have access to a smartphone and can't look up the picture of this freaking guy, I want to tell you what he looks like. He looks very similar to that guy, to the sort of fish monster. He's a pilot in the Star Wars freaking movie, and his lips are very pronounced, and he doesn't speak freaking lick English, and this is what this freaking guy looks just like.
Yeah. It looks like freaking Lando, freaking Calrissian's freaking best freaking friend.
Yeah, it's freaking Lando's freaking best friend. Freaking Doug Jordan over here freaking cackling up.
Yeah, Doug Jordan freaking really letting loose, taking a look at the picture of this freaking guy.
This freaking guy is freaking absolutely freaking hilarious. And weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, if anybody out there our Philippine listeners can get this guy on the freaking hotline, go ahead and call 513-914-6201. We want to freaking talk to you if you can still freaking talk with that giant swollen freaking face.
You might even win a freaking prize or two.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like this in my life. So you definitely got to look it up and see it for yourself.
Yeah, he's not.
This is only the second time I've ever heard freaking Doug laugh.
Yeah.
2 times in 2 weeks. It's freaking crazy.
The guy looks like he was stung by 1,000 bees, and then bit by a rattlesnake all over his face multiple freaking times. And then his face also just was swollen, but way more than you would freaking expect. It's freaking absolutely freaking hilarious. And if you're listening out there, freaking Romulu Filipulu, geez Louise, you freaking brighten all of our day with your swollen smile. So. Last week, the nearly extinct American crocodile has been given new life, according to The Independent, after more than 70 hatchlings were discovered near a South Florida nuclear power plant. Florida Power and Light's Turkey Point nuclear plant is the newest breeding ground for the endangered species. Specialists were able to capture 73 of the newly born crocs, and they expect dozens more could possibly be on their way. The species has been dramatically reduced due to hunting and climate change and are now protected by the FLP. In order to increase the survival rates, the group plans to relocate the crocs once they freaking mature. Anybody else, when you hear this freaking story, get as freaking nervous as I do?
Oh, yeah, and I was just going to chime in here and say, a crocodile born in a nuclear power plant just sounds like a really bad idea, because of the superpowers they'll probably get.
I mean, I'm thinking of freaking Ninja Turtles, and I'm thinking that we need to put some freaking turtles around that freaking power plant to get some freaking nuclear turtles, and then teach them freaking jiu-jitsu,
What we need to freaking do, and this is my freaking idea, is that we need to get some freaking turtles around that freaking power plant, freaking teach some freaking. Holy, what am I trying to freaking say here? We need to freaking get the turtles. We need to get first of all, we need freaking 4 turtles. We need a freaking rat, and the rat needs to be the freaking dad, and then they all need to learn freaking jujitsu. They need to freaking be able to do freaking jujitsu. Freaking what in the heck? Freaking jujitsu. I can't freaking say it.
I think let me hold on. I think it's jujitsu. I think that's how you would say it. Jujitsu.
I mean,
Doug, you're freaking saying it wrong.
No, I think I got it. Jujitsu.
That's Doug. It's look. The thing is, none of us can freaking say it. All right, it's freaking jujitsu. It's freaking jujitsu. All right. Four turtles, freaking rats, and a little bit of freaking jujitsu.
Last week, Indian stand-up comedian Nandu collapsed during his act while on stage in Dubai, according to The National. Nandu, later pronounced dead at a hospital in Al Barsha, Jeez Louise. Nandu was later pronounced dead at a hospital in Al Barsha. His wife, Grace Ching, confirmed the 36-year-old died of a cardiac arrest. According to sources at the event, Nandu was in the middle of a comedic bit that dealt with anxiety. At first, onlookers thought the collapse was all part of the act, but realized Nandu needed medical attention when he did not get up. So this guy freaking died doing a freaking one of his freaking little bits on freaking anxiety. Now he's freaking dead, and he should have had freaking anxiety about freaking dying while he's doing his freaking thing.
Yeah, this is a freaking huge loss because I'm a freaking huge fan of freaking Manjunath Naidu and his freaking comedy, and he was just one of the freaking funniest. He was just one of the freaking funniest, and we're all gonna freaking miss freaking Manjunath Naidu. We're gonna freaking miss you.
Yeah, and if your freaking wife, Grace Naidu, could freaking call in, geez Louise, down on my knees, we'd be happy to hear from her. Doug Jordan, I want you to go ahead and describe the anxiety bit, because I know you're a big Magus Mandu freaking fan, and I want you to explain in depth, in your words, what was the charm of this guy, and tell us the bit that he was talking about.
Well, I mean, so I don't know what the bit is, and I've never even heard of this freaking guy. So I mean, Sandy said he was a big fan of his, so maybe Sandy could describe it for you.
I mean, the truth of the matter it is that I don't have the freaking strength to freaking talk about Magus freaking Mandu's freaking most freaking well-known anxiety bit, because it's quite honestly it might freaking bring me to freaking tears.
Yeah. Sandy, I totally freaking understand, and if you need to take a moment to collect yourself before going on, I completely understand.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be completely freaking fine.
Last week, Nicole Kidman made headlines for her candid reaction to one of her husband's latest singles, according to Entertainment Tonight. Keith Urban has said that his lusty lyric track, Gemini, is about his actress wife. The song, which includes lyrics like, "She's a maniac in bed, but a brainiac in the head," has left audiences wanting a reaction from Kidman. During an interview with KIIS-FM's Kyle and Jackie O show in Australia, Kidman was prompted about her feelings about her crooner husband sharing the couple's intimate moments in song. "I don't censor his art, but it is a little embarrassing," Kidman said. "It's better than saying, 'God, I'm so bored. Make an effort, Nicole.'" So that's a freaking weird way to end a freaking news story. So let's go ahead and listen to that lyric one more time. "She's a maniac in freaking bed, but a brainiac in the freaking head." Now, that is art, as Nicole, I can't even freaking pretend. That's the freaking stupidest thing I ever freaking heard in my life. And I love freaking stupid, shit.
Yeah, as a freaking songwriter, this guy sounds like he's a freaking moron. It was the stupidest song lyric I heard in my freaking life. And you better freaking believe that freaking Doug and I, our freaking band, freaking Graveyard Froggies, and freaking Morphin, we would never freaking do something like that.
Yeah. Now, here is a question that I would like to ask, and I want to hand it to freaking Doug Jordan, who is sexually very experienced on all sides of the aisles. Doug, what does a maniac in bed freaking do? And go ahead and be explicit. This is educational, so I'm sure we'll be fine. Go ahead and describe what a maniac does in bed, sexually, in detail.
I mean, a maniac in bed, it probably refers to the fact that excuse me, maybe would be that you're pretty good at doing having sex.
Doug, are you getting freaking horny right now? What is going on with you?
No, I don't. You know, I'm on the radio. I'm on public. I don't know what I can say or can't say. I don't even know why you're directing this question towards me, because you know I don't like to talk about this stuff on the radio.
What do you imagine? Who's more of a freaking maniac? You or freaking Sunjay? And I know that I haven't been grilling you about Sunjay as of late because I respect your freaking privacy, and I always have, and I always freaking will. But who is the maniac in this freaking sack?
I mean, I wouldn't know because I can't. I've never seen Sunjay in the sack, so I don't know who would be the bigger maniac in the bed. But you know, I don't know.
Are you a freaking maniac in the bed with your freaking wife, or when you had your baby? When you had your freaking son, name a freaking Doug Jr. Were you being a maniac? And how did you freaking do it? And how freaking horny were you?
Well, I mean, I'd rather not talk about this on the radio. About my sex life.
What about the little freaking guy under your bed?
Yeah, is he a freaking maniac underneath the little bed?
There's no
all by himself. Because I want to go ahead and say this before Doug Jordan denies anything. I want to go ahead and say this. I'm a freaking maniac in the freaking sack. And I'm talking about my lonely freaking bed. I am a maniac when I'm just laying there all by my freaking self. Jeez Louise, down on my knees, put freaking handcuffs on me, give me a freaking straitjacket, because I am freaking as a freaking Dickens. And jeez Louise, you can't freaking stop me once I get freaking started. It's like a freaking rope burn. You know what I mean?
I mean, well, there's one statement I want to pull here, and it is that you're probably a maniac, according to the court. You know, you're in a group home now, and you probably have some mental issues. So I just want to bring that up.
What the heck are you freaking talking about?
Yeah, well, Doug, what the heck are you freaking talking about?
I mean, it sounds like they kind of checked you into a psychiatric center. I mean, you talked about one guy who doesn't speak any words or understand anything, but he loves to light things on fire. So
he's a guy's a freaking firebug. He's a freaking free American, and he's a freaking firebug.
And his name is freaking Arnold, Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot his name, Arnold. Yeah.
It sounds freaking hilarious.
Yeah, he is freaking hilarious. He's gonna be my best new friend at my luxury freaking group home. Last week, Quentin Tarantino stated that if he were to make a Star Trek film, it would be Pulp Fiction in space, according to Screen Rant. With promotional rounds being made for Tarantino's latest film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the director talked openly about the possibility of making his final project as director a Star Trek film. According to the publication, the screenplay for Tarantino's Star Trek has already been completed by the Revenant screenwriter Mark L. Smith. Tarantino also confirmed that if he were to make the film, it would most certainly be freaking R-rated. So now I'm just thinking about freaking Jean-Luc freaking Picard, and freaking Spock and stuff, and with freaking ball gags in their mouths and freaking shooting up freaking heroin and doing all the freaking hilarious stuff to freaking they do in freaking Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I can imagine freaking John Travolta's big fat John Travolta playing freaking Spock, and freaking Samuel L. Jackson is freaking Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah. And then the freaking, and it's gonna be absolutely freaking hilarious. My favorite scene from the new Star Trek film is when Picard gets freaking Spock to freaking shoot heroin for the first freaking time, and he freaking overdoses and freaking dies.
Yeah.
And then his ears go limp when he freaking dies. When his eyes roll back and his ears freaking go limp, and then Picard's like, "Oh, you freaking got it freaking good. You got a good one in there." And then he doesn't, but then he stops freaking paying attention because they're being attacked by freaking Klingon, and he's got to freaking try and shoot the Klingon with his regular freaking pistol, and he looks back and he goes, Spock, take the freaking wheel, and he looks back and Spock's just freaking dead. He's just freaking OD'd right there, and then he's got to freaking get a freaking adrenaline shot, and he's got to stick it right into his freaking heart, and then Spock waits right up, and geez Louise, down on my knees, he's got his freaking breasts are out, and he's got a freaking bra on, and a freaking red magic marker on it, and there's freaking Eric Stoltz, and he's an alien because he's still got that old face mask that he used in the movie Mask, and he's in the movie, he's playing a freaking crazy alien name of freaking Worf, and geez Jeez Louise down on my knees. It's freaking absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, and you know who's piloting the freaking ship at this point? Freaking Romulo, freaking Pilipil from freaking Star Wars, freaking guy with the big fat lips.
And the thing is, they're gonna have so many stars in this movie that the reason they get him is because they know he's not gonna cut into the freaking makeup budget at all.
Yeah, because his face is freaking huge.
They're just gonna go, no, just show up, you'll be fine. And then he's going to be like, but my mouth is so freaking swollen, you can barely understand what I say. They're just all, oh, we got a perfect fix.
Perfect, yeah.
We got a perfect freaking fix for that. You don't speak English in the movie. You freaking speak alien.
Doug Jordan?
I don't... well, first off, I don't think that his movie would be anything like what you guys are describing right now. Second off, I don't think Tarantino should direct a Star Trek film. I think a lot of fans would be upset if he did that. An R-rated Star Trek film would most certainly be very interesting, and I think it would be a great step for the franchise as a whole. But I just don't think Quentin Tarantino should be allowed to direct it.
What do you think about the scene where they catch Spock and then they're drenching him in freaking gasoline? They cut his freaking ear off, and now he's only got one freaking pointy ear. And then the guy's freaking talking into it, and then guess who freaking wakes up? The freaking bad Klingon. Turns out he's been a good Klingon the whole freaking time. He shoots the freaking galactic freaking warlord, and then he almost saves the day, but then everybody freaking dies at the end. And is everybody gonna freaking die at the end? Is that?
Well, I mean, the problem here is you're messing up a lot of timelines. So the Klingon Worf was actually in a later series called Next Generation.
God, here we freaking go. Jeez, please.
Spock was the original member, and nowadays they're doing a reboot, which is kind of a whole alternate timeline universe that doesn't really quite add up to the original series. So
look, this isn't freaking good radio. This is not freaking good freaking radio, Doug, and you should know freaking better.
Here's the thing, that actually all makes freaking sense, because if you've seen freaking Quentin Tarantino's movies, they're always freaking non-linear. So this will be going freaking back and forth between Spock and freaking Worf, and then Spock's freaking having sex with Worf, and they're freaking dancing to the freaking Chuck Berry freaking song, and they're eating freaking $5 milkshakes. Jeez Louise down on my knees is going to be freaking hilarious. Can't wait to see it. Last week, Swedish Prime Minister Stefan Löfven addressed the Aesop Rocky situation during a teleconference with President Donald Trump, according to Stereogum. The 30-year-old was involved in an alleged assault in Stockholm earlier this month. His detainment, said to be harsh conditions, has drawn the support of Justin Bieber and President Trump. The latter said he advocated for the rapper with the Prime Minister and even offered to post his bond, although Swedish criminal justice system doesn't include bail. Löfven stated that Rocky will not get special treatment because in Sweden everyone is equal before the law, and that the government cannot and will not attempt to influence illegal proceedings. Rocky will enter into his third week of detainment this week. So this comes as a huge freaking blow to me. This is my favorite freaking rapper and one of my favorite freaking musicians, and I just freaking love this freaking guy, and if he can't keep making freaking music because he's in freaking jail, honestly, if there's anything I can freaking do, I do know a freaking great freaking attorney named freaking Darius freaking Jackson, and geez Louise, if there's anything I can freaking do, just freaking let me know.
I don't think you ever heard of this person. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't know who he is. I don't know who he is. When he kept saying Rocky, I thought you were talking about Sylvester Stallone. So,
you think they could freaking put Stallone in a freaking cage?
Yeah, no freaking cage could hold freaking that guy's freaking Rocky and freaking Rambo. I'm freaking drunk.
Yeah, it's absolutely freaking hilarious that you're freaking that drunk. Last week, the new trailer for Tom Hanks' Mr. Rogers movie sent the internet into a Twitter for its heartwarming take on the PBS showrunner, according to BuzzFeed News. The movie, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, showcases the relationship between Fred Rogers, played by Hanks, and a journalist profiling the late children's show creator. Said to be released November 22nd this year, the trailer features Hanks donning the famous red sweater and changing his shoes. Basically, the entire freaking trailer, he's changing his freaking shoes and saying, won't you be my freaking neighbor? Did anybody else watch that freaking trailer?
No.
No, I went ahead and I freaking skip that one. Not freaking interested. Don't care. Couldn't be any. I don't care. I'm freaking drunk.
For weakers and tweakers out there who like movies about people changing their shoes a million freaking times and putting their sports jacket in the freaking closet and putting a red freaking sweater on, this is the freaking movie for you. I can't tell you to go see it, and I wouldn't, because that's not my kind of freaking movie. I like movies where people are freaking shooting heroin and freaking cutting each other's ears off and freaking putting ball gags in each other's mouths and waking up a gimp in a freaking basement, and then meanwhile all of it is in freaking space. That's the kind of freaking movie I like. But if you like movies about freaking old freaking men and freaking Tom Hanks just being a freaking shadow of the freaking actor that he once was, this might be the freaking movie for you.
I mean, I personally, I'm not happy about Tom Hanks playing Mr. Rogers, but, I really would love to see Tom Hanks in maybe a Castaway 2 or perhaps even a Terminal 2, as those are two of my favorite Hanks films.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious if that freaking whole ordeal happened to Tom Hanks again in a Castaway 2 movie. And he's just like, I can't believe this is happening again.
Yeah. There'd be a moment where he freaking looks at the camera and goes, "Here we go again."
And he's got to freaking learn how to freaking catch fish and make fire all over freaking again. And he's
got to build a new freaking volleyball to freaking have sex with.
Yeah.
The only way that I'd see this freaking Mr. Rogers movie is if there's a scene where he freaking has sex with a freaking volleyball.
That was a shocking moment from the first freaking hilarious freaking movie called The Freaking Castaway, when he's in his cave and it shows freaking Wilson, and Wilson is now his smile has turned into a freaking frown over time, and then they show around, and the camera goes around back of him, and you can see that, yep, you freaking guessed it, freaking Tom Hanks freaking cut a hole in the freaking back of it.
Yeah, and the frown isn't freaking painted with paint anymore either. Freaking seed.
Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, we got one more freaking segment for you. It's absolutely freaking hilarious, and it's actually going to be a freaking, geez Louise, I'll just go right into it. Last week, McDonald's began testing its latest breakfast menu item creation at more than 100 franchise locations in anticipation of the release of the Blueberry McGriddle, according to the Washington Post. With the hopeful forthcoming of the breakfast menu item, we here at Our Week would like to take it to the sports desk with a little round table discussion about the best fast food breakfast sandwiches. So freaking Doug Jordan, freaking take it to the sports desk. The way this works, we're going to go through some of your favorite freaking breakfast menu items. You're going to tell us which ones are best and where they freaking sit in rank. So why don't you just go ahead, Doug Jordan? This is all you, freaking sports desk with Doug freaking Jordan about freaking breakfast sandwiches. And yep, you guessed it, it is a freaking sports desk sandwich segment.
Yeah, so I mean, okay, it might be a little different. I wasn't prepared for this, so I'll just go down this list that you kind of wrote here. Taco Bell breakfast crunch wrap. I ate one this morning for breakfast on my way to work at the fish depot.
What's in it?
Get the hell out of here! You had a freaking breakfast crunch wrap on your way to freaking work.
Yep. So it's got potato, it's got eggs, it's got cheese, it's got the meat of your breakfast meat of your choice, and then it's got the creamy jalapeno sauce that they usually put in the quesadillas, and it's all wrapped up and grilled, and it's one of my favorite sandwiches.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds freaking hilarious. All right, good. You just move on.
Okay, so next is the Burger King croissant sandwich. I can't tell you the last time I went to Burger King for breakfast. I have had this sandwich before, quite some years ago, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was.
Doug, what are you freaking doing with this segment?
He wrote it for me. I'm supposed to rank.
Just keep freaking going.
Next is Tim Hortons hot breakfast sandwich. You know what? Honestly, I've never been to a freaking Tim Hortons. So I can't even talk about this one.
So let me tell you a little freaking background for those of you who haven't been to freaking Tim Hortons. Tim Horton was a freaking NHL freaking hockey player, famous NHL freaking hockey player that decided to break out after he retired and create a breakfast sandwich and freaking coffee franchise. Very freaking lucrative. And geez Louise, down on my knees, they didn't reach the success that they are today until after his freaking death. Tim Horton freaking died driving freaking high on freaking cocaine, drunk as the freaking Dixons, going 170 freaking kilometers an hour, crashed into a freaking light post and freaking exploded and burned and freaking died. And they know he was freaking he was freaking high because they freaking had friends freaking see him do it, getting freaking high, and they had testimony of all that. And so that's what freaking Tim Horton is. And that's when you're freaking buying a breakfast sandwich from there, Doug Jordan, that's what you're freaking getting. You're getting basically Tarantino style, freaking Pulp Fiction style, freaking hilarious freaking breakfast sandwich, and I freaking highly freaking recommend it.
Yeah, well, I never had it, so I can't really talk about it.
Well, that's what you're getting. Well, that's what you're getting with your freaking money. That's what your money's freaking going towards.
Yep.
Okay, so next on the list here is the Wendy's honey butter chicken biscuit. Honestly, I've never even heard of that.
That's a freaking staple of freaking Wendy's sandwich breakfast.
I didn't even know Wendy's did breakfast, honestly.
You know what I like at Wendy's? Freaking getting a baked potato.
Yeah.
The baked potatoes at Wendy's are always freaking good.
I like the freaking.
Didn't ask for your freaking opinion on it.
I like the freaking Frosty, but it's not as good as the freaking McFlurry.
You ever freaking dipped a freaking French fry into a freaking Frosty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that. I can't say I like it.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, next on the list is Whataburger. Never been there, and it says a taquito with potato, egg, and cheese.
Then freaking skip it if you freaking haven't been there.
Okay, so next is White Castle. Never had breakfast there.
Wait, read that one. That's a good one, though.
It's the breakfast waffle slider at White Castle.
And what is your freaking opinion on it? How did you like it?
Yeah, I mean, I've never had it, but it's probably
Doug,
good.
just give it a freaking rank.
I'd give it 1 thumb up, I'd say.
I think you're freaking undervaluing the freaking breakfast waffle slider.
That's a freaking 10. That's a freaking 8-star. Either a freaking 8-star or a freaking 10-star.
Yeah, well, I never had it, so I can't rank it, accordingly.
Yeah.
All right, so next up is Subway steak, egg, and cheese. Honestly, I've never had that one either.
Jesus.
Starbucks, I never go there, so I can't really talk about that. Sonic.
Yeah, but what is it? What is this? What is the sandwich from freaking Starbucks though?
It says spicy chorizo, Monterey Jack, and egg breakfast sandwich. So it sounds pretty good. It sounds like I would like to eat it. What do you guys think?
I wasn't even freaking listening. What was that? Starbucks?
Yeah, Starbucks spicy chorizo, Monterey Jack, and egg.
Doug? Why is that even on the freaking list? That's not a freaking fast food sandwich.
You made the list. I'm just going down the list.
Yeah, but this isn't my freaking sports desk with Doug Jordan. This is you.
Okay, so now what do you want me to do? I'll do the next one.
Yeah.
It says Sonic breakfast toaster. Honestly, I've never even been to a Sonic, so we'll skip that one. But it sounds pretty good. McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit.
Wait a minute, hang on a second. They give you a freaking toaster for freaking breakfast?
No, I think it's probably like a Pop-Tart.
This is supposed to be a list about freaking sandwiches.
Yeah, you made
You
the
think that's
list.
a freaking Pop-Tart? You think this freaking sandwich is a freaking Pop-Tart at Sonic? What are you talking about?
It's probably like, Pop-Tart, and they put it in the toaster, and then it's full of breakfast.
Why would they call that a toaster? Have you ever heard anybody ever freaking call a freaking Pop-Tart a toaster?
Well, yeah, there's the Pillsbury toaster strudels.
Yeah, but
that's a freaking strudel, Doug. That's
a freaking strudel, and you should freaking apologize to our freaking German weakers and tweakers out there.
Yeah, but the toaster is in the name. It's a toaster.
It's a strudel.
It's a toaster that happens to also be a strudel.
It's a strudel that you put in a toaster.
No, it's a toaster strudel. You put the toaster strudel in the toaster, and that's what
Doug,
it is.
you've never even freaking been to Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've had a toaster strudel.
Doug, move on.
Okay, next is the McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, and also sausage, egg, and cheese is on here. I can say, personally, I love the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, and I also like the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit that are offered at McDonald's. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle, and then the McDonald's sausage McMuffin. So they're kind of all on here. One is kind of a... One is it's got a pancake. That's the McGriddle. One is a biscuit, and then one is on a English muffin. So they're all varying degrees of. They're all pretty good. I mean, honestly, I don't really care for the McGriddle as much because that comes with the scrambled egg. I prefer the poached egg that's on the McMuffin. I think I like the McMuffin more than the McGriddle. So.
Doug, that egg on the freaking McMuffin is not freaking poached. That's a freaking fried. That's a freaking fried egg.
That is not true. The egg is actually poached, and it's poached in water. So I think I would know about that. It's a poached egg that's on the McMuffin.
You ever try to eat a freaking English muffin, but without freaking toasting it? Tastes like freaking.
No, I can't. I honestly can't remember a time
Like
when I ate
nickels.
a plain English muffin.
Tastes like freaking nickels.
Doug, wait. Since when does a freaking poached egg freaking have a hard freaking yolky freaking center?
Yeah.
It's poached hard. You know, sometimes poached eggs are poached soft, and sometimes eggs are poached hard. It's poached freaking
Wait,
hard.
but why is it freaking flat?
Yeah.
Because it's McDonald's, and they're making it to put on a sandwich.
How do you poach an egg and then make it freaking flat?
Yeah.
They have some sort of a machine. They crack the egg, they put it in the egg, they close it, and then it steams around the egg. It's a clamshell method. That's how they do all their burgers, too.
Jeez Louise.
Okay, Doug. Let's just try to get freaking through this. Okay.
Okay, up next is Jack in the Box loaded breakfast sandwich. Never been to Jack in the Box. Sounds like it'd be pretty good.
Doug, how do you know how they do that stuff with the egg at freaking McDonald's? How the heck do you even freaking know that?
Yeah.
Because I know a guy that used to work there, and he was telling me about it.
Was it Sunjay?
No, Sunjay never worked at McDonald's.
How do you freaking know?
There's a guy that I used to work with at the mailroom. He said he used to work at McDonald's, and he got this job, and I was asking him questions
Yeah, but
about
how
it.
do you know that Sunjay didn't work there? The guy at the mailroom wouldn't know that.
I mean,
Because you know it. Because you freaking know everything about freaking Sunjay. Because you guys are.
well, we're friends. We're close. Of course, I
Pillow-
know about him. Like
pillow talk.
I know about you, and I know about Taylor. You know, it's never. Maybe Sunjay has worked at McDonald's, but not that I know of.
What do you freaking know about me?
Well, I know that you're a ward of the state, and now that you're checked into a psychiatric ward.
All right, Doug. Just keep it to the freaking breakfast sandwiches.
Okay, so up next is Hardee's honey butter chicken biscuit. You know, I'm starting to think that you might have put the Hardee's honey butter chicken biscuit on the Wendy's one, because I've never heard of that being at Wendy's, and I go to Wendy's a freaking lot.
Yeah, that's
And Wendy's does not have freaking breakfast.
I thought it did. I don't know.
Okay, so up next is Chick-fil-A chicken minis. Never been to Chick-fil-A. Don't support them.
Because you can't go in there with freaking you and Sanjay and feel accepted.
No, I mean I could go in there with Sanjay because we're friends going to eat. But
If he
I
was
don't.
your lover, you wouldn't feel accepted.
Well, he's not my lover.
I'm just saying, hypothetically, if he was your freaking lover,
hypothetically, I guess if we're talking hypothetics here, then that would.
Doug,
be...
I just want to take the quick second to say this. You know, I may not always agree with you and everything that you freaking do, but I will freaking defend to the death your right to freaking make love to freaking Sanjay, your freaking best friend and co-host of your freaking show, and your freaking lover. And if any freaking fast food restaurant, even one as delicious as freaking Chick-fil-A, gets in the way of that, I'll freaking burn it down. I'll freaking sick freaking Arnold on them. The fat freaking basically mute freaking firebug that I'm gonna be living with in the coming freaking weeks.
You know who freaking Arnold sounds like? It's freaking Chief Bromden from freaking One Flew Over the freaking Cuckoo's Nest, and that takes place in a freaking mental hospital.
Yeah. Let's finish up the freaking list. We got 2 more on the freaking docket.
Okay, so up next is Carl's Jr. It's the Mile High Breakfast Burger. Never have that. Never have I ever been to Carl's Jr.
So Carl's Jr. for Weakers and Tweakers and out there that don't know, Carl's Jr. and Hardee's are both the same freaking restaurant, just in different regions of the freaking United States of freaking America. And the Mile High freaking burger, it sounds like a burger that you freaking have sex with on an airplane. Is that what it's for? And I don't know if you can bring in a freaking burger on a freaking airplane. They must have it they must sell it on the freaking airport.
I mean, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's probably a burger with an egg on it and other toppings too. That's why they say Mile High, because how high the top bun is.
Doug, you had a freaking Mile High breakfast burger with freaking Sunjay in the freaking bathroom on the way to Italy, didn't you?
No, I didn't do that.
If your theory plays out at all, and they do stack the freaking sandwich a mile freaking high, how are you going to get on a freaking airplane?
I don't
Those
think
freaking doors aren't freaking big enough to give it. There's not a freaking mile in the freaking airplane to freaking get it up in there.
I mean, they probably don't stack it.
And then you
very
wouldn't be able to
high.
have freaking sex with it.
It's probably maybe, I would say 6 to 8 inches off of the table or off
Wait,
your hand.
Sunjay?
No, I'm talking about the Mile High Breakfast Burger.
So we have freaking confirmation. Sunjay is 6 to 8 freaking inches.
No, I was talking about the burger. I wasn't talking about Sunjay. And
6 to 8 inches of freaking hot meat.
Yep.
For breakfast, and you're eating it for freaking breakfast.
no, I mean I'm just talking about the burger. I'm not talking about my friend.
Okay.
Uyghurs and Tweakers, 6 to 8 inches.
Yeah.
The last one is Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's the Cajun filet biscuit, and I've never been to a Bojangles, so I wouldn't know what that's like.
Doug, wait a minute. Hold on. Doug, are you telling me you've never been to a freaking Bojangles?
No, I've never been. Have you been to a Bojangles?
Of course.
1,000 times.
When do you get the Cajun filet biscuit?
Just absolutely freaking had it. Yep.
Then you could talk about it then.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, it's not his freaking sports desk segment.
That also doesn't sound like it's a breakfast. It's a breakfast item. I feel like most of these weren't breakfast items.
No, they're all breakfast items. I got them online on a bunch of different websites. Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Freaking Seekers, Mayo Tards, and the like, and freaking Thrill Seekers and Mayo Tards and freaking Weakers. Thank you so much for freaking listening to our Weekend Freaking Review. That segment, sometimes you try to write a perfect segment and it flops. And there's nothing you can freaking do about it because the person that you freaking hand that freaking shiny piece of gold, they smudge their freaking greasy little fingers all over it, cover it in freaking basically butt sauce, and it turns out it's smelling like a freaking turd that came out of their freaking rear end and not the shiny piece of gold that you handed them. And there's nothing you can freaking do about it.
I mean, I if you told me about this segment, I would have come prepared for it, you know. So I would.
You should come prepared for this freaking every single week.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm as prepared as I can be. I mean, I know a lot about stuff like this. I feel like I handled myself pretty well, especially talking about the varying differences between the McDonald's breakfast menu. So I felt prepared for some of this, just not all of it.
Well, if you feel you did a freaking good job, then congratulations.
I felt like I did pretty okay.
Pretty okay, huh?
Yeah, it felt like I knew what I was talking about for the most part.
Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers, thank you so much for freaking listening. You got us freaking hot and horny tonight, and we are happy to be here for you every day of the freaking week. Geez Louise, down on my knees. Thank you so much for freaking listening, and we will see you freaking next week. You botched is what you freaking did.
I did the best that I could.
I handed you a piece of gold on a freaking silver platter that you can freaking eat and freaking have sex with on a freaking mile-high airplane.
I mean, half of these are not breakfast items. A honey butter chicken biscuit is not a breakfast item.
Where is that?
A Cajun filet biscuit is not a freaking breakfast item. A honey butter chicken. You got it on here twice. Honey butter chicken biscuits on here freaking twice. It's not a freaking breakfast item. So I would have known.
Doug, why are you freaking screaming at him?
It's on a freaking biscuit. You eat biscuits in the morning.
Yeah, but is it on the... Wendy's doesn't even have freaking breakfast, Taylor. I freaking know Wendy's doesn't have breakfast.
Well, we could go right now and freaking find out.
It's not breakfast time, but yeah, I'll go.
All right.
Where's freaking Tadia?
Tadia has freaking cancer, and he might be freaking dead from it. He might have finally freaking crawled up his freaking penis shaft into his lungs, metastasized into his brain, and then